Hmm. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday. I am Delenn Russell, and as the countdown proceeds toward the new 1.20 release, I'm going to be doing a little bit more wall work and stuff on the Diecraft 73 server, and we will see where we can get to. Hello, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. How are you doing today? I'm just trying to get my feet under me. I did not play all weekend because I was away at Scout Camp, one of two. And we apparently have some frame rate issues today. I don't know what's going on. It's probably me at this end. It usually is. But, yeah. Okay, so first things first, I need to figure out which end is up on my inventory. Almost awake and chipping away at work. Well, I hope we don't have too many meetings today. That's pretty rough. Let's see, what do we got? Okay, nothing hiding in there. Oh. Apparently, rockets. Okay. Okay, that must have been... Okay, that was from the Nether last week. Alright, good. Let's put that away. You always seem to need gold for something. Well, let's make this a block. Sometimes meetings make it easier, an excuse not to work on real projects. Very true. Very true. Alright, let's see. Iron, okay. What was I up to? I have no idea where I left off. That's okay. I have a suspicion based on what's going on in here that I was working on the wall. I know that was the plan for today. And it looks like I may have actually delivered all of the materials to Fantastic Sherlock Fox that I was going to. So they should be in his mailbox. But while we're here, I need more rockets. And I need to get rid of some of this junk. No problem. Oops. Lots of mess. Lots of mess. Okay, let's put those in there. What are these? Oh well. Not worth sorting that on stream. And extra string goes over here. There we go. I think I've got what we need. I think, maybe. Let's start by loading up on this one, and then we'll see where we get to. I'm putting the wall together. It's going to be pretty tall, and I'm trying to remember what the pattern was. One of the disadvantages of going to camp is I thought I was getting over my cold, but it sounds like it's back again, so I think I'm probably just having issues with permanent allergies, which is never a fun time. And also, it looks like if we run out of materials today, then we're going to end up spending some time mining away over here, so let's hope that we don't have to worry about that. Everything else looks to be in good order. So I guess it's just get to it. First thing I'm going to start with is doing the stairs at the bottom of the wall. That'll make it a little bit easier. I still have not figured out how to connect the wall to the castle. I smoothed out a couple of spots that were bothering me, but I haven't actually got it all connected. So we're just going to go with it as it is and then figure it out later on. So we can always build wall, then rebuild wall later. But I'm far happier with the curve now than I was before. Still not quite convinced, as I said, on either end, but you know. You just go with it, right? Oops. All right. What did I do here? 2, 3. Oh, right. This one is not correct. There we go. Excuse me, just 1 second. I'm just gonna have a big cough break and I'll be right back. Yeah, that's not one that works through my local page. That's not good at all. Where are we here? Guess I'll have to fix that one. Add it to the list. Add it to the list. Alright, so let's just start building this wall. And where's my torches? Torch it up as we go. Oh, the list of things that I always have something to look at fixing for every single stream. There's always something that needs investigation and repair. So I just said. So I'm meaning to add the drop feature not working to the list. That page is not hosted with me, so I need to try and see what it is that's being fussy about it. It's possible that since I haven't visited the page directly in a few weeks, that it might be mad that it's like logged me out or something over there. Yeah, so those two games are hosted elsewhere. Stinks because that means the raid drop looks awful. Okay, where are we here? Turning? No. You know, there's always something. Geek Out works. Bald celebrities. Ooh. 4 of them. That's the challenge. Balding is a difficult one only in that defining whether or not someone is. Ah, Jeff Bezos. Yep. Jeff Bezos and Bruce Willis. And then you can also add to that list Patrick Stewart. That's a fairly common one. There's 3. I'm trying to think of a 4th one. When Demi Moore plays certain roles, yes. But on the whole, not usually. I don't know if shaved head really counts. As in, like, it's not normally that way. Though, I mean, if you want to open it up wider, we could say Simon Whistler is a good one. Because the dude even advertises on his YouTube channel stuff, products for balding individuals. Or, well, as in, like, head shaving products. Which I find kind of amusing. Yep, there we go. Oh! Whoops! Wow, my voice is a mess. Good thing I didn't sing on the weekend. That would have been a nightmare. I guess I have to take this one out, because it's going to show. I'm having a hard time getting up here. Well, isn't that the point? That's kind of the point of this place. Okay, let's temporarily throw this one down and get ourselves some more stairs. I'm gonna need it. Alright. I also have to be careful how long we spend doing this today. Building the wall last week, unfortunately, made me nauseous. I don't always get motion sick on these games. Usually the default field of view works just fine and I have no problems with it. But this one, yeah, I was not doing so hot. I was wondering why that looked funny. So I just have to be a little more careful this week. Why I have that one? Let's go up and see. There's no reason for this one. There, it's better. Some consistency is warranted. Pardon me. John Gadget. Yep. Now, is Annie Lennox a shave by choice individual, or is she one that's had some challenges and needs to be bald for medical reasons? Always curious about that. I mean, if you're talking about by choice, then we've got Sinead O'Connor as well. So I always thought she was like a super close cropped, like buzzed head sort of thing. But I didn't think she actually had shaved it off entirely. Let's take out this one. Yeah, that'll do. As I go around the corner, it's always tough to decide which direction I want to put the stairs. And also, Annie Lennox is one I haven't heard from in a while. Could just be that I haven't been paying a whole lot of attention, but I don't know when her last album was, actually. Hey, move. 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 Thank you. Do what cows do best. Move. Nope, that's gonna show. This one. There we go, that's better. Don't like this corner, but I don't think it would look much better if I trimmed it back either. Let's give that a footing. See what I'll have to come back and see what I think of it later. Hey. Pardon me. So today's music is Laser Dice again. We're playing Laser Dice's list of happy music for streamers. It's only a 2-hour loop. We don't tend to go longer than that usually, but if we need to, it might loop on us, and it's on a shuffle as well, so I don't know if we're going to get repeats. We shouldn't. Not for 2 hours at least, but you never know. Let's see. So, I'll have to excuse a little bit of the coloring this morning. It's not your monitor. No need to adjust the monitor. I need to adjust me, but I was stupid this weekend and got myself involved in a project with our Cub Scouts, and we just got busy. And so I did not wear sunscreen properly. Or did not wear sunscreen enough. And so I got really burnt. Really burnt. So, yeah, my own silliness. But, yeah. Burns are no fun. They make me itchy. No fun being itchy. They also make me look ridiculously red. And being as I have, between the cold and whatever allergies and being busy, I haven't got the Elgato Keylight set up yet. Really, really important. But that means that at the moment I don't have a way of compensating for the color. I've tried mucking around a little bit with my monitor bar lights, and that's just not helping. It makes the color look worse, so just leaving it. But definitely hadn't thought about that when I got myself interested in the project that the kids are working on. So what they were putting together was a large mural, or a pair of them actually, for a camp where we're required to have a gateway. Ugh. I don't like this. But we're required to have a gateway for our camp area. And that'll be fun. Nice noisy corner. So anyway, I guess I'm gonna put another one here. That'll work. Pardon me. So they're working on these murals. We had a lot of painting and whatever. And we had a couple of minor emergencies in there. The wind came up at one point and knocked one of the two murals over. And one of our cubs got covered in paint. So the poor gal was like blue up the side, all through her hair and everything. And so we had to jump on that one pretty quick. Because I don't think that either she or her mother would have appreciated coming home very blue. It's a household where they don't really support you dyeing your hair. So, yeah. Accidental or otherwise. But on the bright side, one of the leaders was her dad, so he left the cleanup in his hands, and he just demanded that she went and stood under the water cistern that we had and got a good solid dousing, which was good because you get the paint fast and then you can usually get it off. But yeah. And then, of course, she was a little unconfident, I guess, lacking confidence after that for a few minutes and didn't want to go back to painting right away. And then once she got her confidence back, she decided to go in whole hog. But at that point, we decided we should paint with everything laying flat so that we didn't have this same issue again. And she decided that she was going to lean on the painting, so she would paint all over her hand from her wrist, like from the fingertips right up to the end of her elbow. And her dad just like shaking his head going, ugh. Well, at least that part can be scrubbable. Like, that's a little easier. But yeah, it was kind of funny. Poor gal. So anyways, we have two of them, two of these mural things, and basically they were just canvas drop cloths that you'd normally buy in like a Home Depot store. And then we put them up against some metal framing that used to be a dog run. And so the shaping that we've got going is two flat frames on the ends with the art. And then in the center, oh, and I have to do that, shoot. Sorry, I'm reminding myself about activities I have to get done before the weekend. But then the center section is a structure made out of more of the dog run, but it's going to be a cave shape. So we've got the old gate holding up the center section and then a bunch of legs coming off the side that we wrap the whole thing in more canvas drop cloths. And that's a cave where a Bigfoot supposedly lives. So our theme for our camp is myths and legends. And we've got Bigfoot, or Bigfoot or Sasquatch is our choice, our group's choice. There's one other group that's got the same topic, but they're like 3 kids. So they're only able to bring 3 kids. Just, that's all that signed up from their group. So we don't have competition, I guess you could say. And, pardon me. There we go, here. So we figured, okay, well, we'll take it up a notch. Like, for example, I've ordered in some stickers, and so we've got those to give away. Our youth leader? No, that's not what I'm talking about. The head of our group, basically in Cub Scouts, we called Michaela, based after the Jungle Book. And actually, funny you should mention that. I've got the photos of the almost finished murals. Let's see. I'm trying to decide what I want to do with this edge. Do I come down? stay up. Let's go down, do an extra row on this one. But I do have pictures of the almost finished murals, as in the only thing missing is the writing. And that I'm going to have to do on site just because we found it easier to pack the murals in our trailer for transport rather than back in my truck and bring them home. I've already got 2 other tarps to deal with anyways. Which needs some dyeing and stuff, so I forgot. When I was out yesterday, I forgot to pick up fabric dye, so that's going to be a bit of a pain. But we just need to make them mud colored, so it's not a huge deal. And I may need to prevail on Fantastic Sherlock Fox to help a little bit with some spray paint. This is starting to wrap, so let's take this one off and go the other direction. But yeah, I've got some partial pictures, so give me a quick second to dig those out, if I can get them synced properly. Ah! I fell! I fell! 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, I've got the third one on here because I thought I needed to figure out how to come down this edge, and I don't have a clue. Alright. Pardon me. So that's the back of the wall. Oh, sorry, the front of the wall. And then we need the back of the wall to have something similar, so we get to go back again. Woohoo! Give me 1 quick second for another cough, and I'll be right with you. I think that one calls for a hydrate.
2, 4, 6, 8, everybody hydrate!
Alrighty. Don't know what it is about that coffee that's hitting the spot. Okay, where was I? Pictures, 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 right. Pictures. Nope, that's not what I want. Come on, down at the bottom. No. Where did they go? Aha, found them. Alright. So just going to show you guys a couple of pictures. It's probably easiest if I just show you the center screen, so I'll figure out which one that is. There we go. No, whoops, wrong display capture. Properties, sorry. That one. Alright, so we got the game on at the moment. And I'm going to regret the fact that I didn't sleep, but that's okay. Alright, so... open up photo. Wow, this center screen is really not fitting. Give me a sec. Fit. There, better. Alright. So yeah, that's what they've done for their first art photo. And then the second part of it, I'm going to open actually a second picture for. It's like that. Open up this one. Wrong direction. This side. And then this side. And then we're going to have a cave shape in the middle. This is actually after this one blew over flat backwards. And this one is, you can see the orange cabling in the corner, and that was after it had blown forward. So we thought, okay, well, we'll tie it down so that it doesn't blow forwards again. And eventually it blew over flat backwards anyways. Can't win. But I'm just trying to see if we have one. Yeah, okay, this one has the kids from the back, so I think we're okay. I don't want to give away too much of the kids for privacy reasons. You can start to see that we've got a weird shape in the middle, and this one isn't fully finished, because we'll have all the, we're going to take the tarp that you see on the right side there. There's a gap right in where my mouse is going up and down, and that we're going to pull that a little wider and tie it to the frame. And that's going to be a cave in the middle. So we've got a mural on one side, a mural on the other, and then it's going to have the name of the camp on one side and our group's name on the other, or vice versa. But yeah, so that's what we've got going for the brand new murals. And the kids put in a lot of work, and I was really pleased with that. But the side effect was that I got excited and wrapped up in helping them and stuff because they had a bazillion questions about how do we do this and how do we do that? Can you open the paint can? And can we have the more paint and this and that? And so I forgot to wear sunscreen. Which normally, like, I got burnt. When was I doing? A couple weeks prior? No, actually. April, I think it was. And it sounds silly, but from the work in April, I'm still peeling. And so I think just because I don't tend to wear moisturizer, that's probably what the issue is. But in any case, it's because I was still peeling from April, then not wearing sunscreen again was not the world's best decision I could make. Yeah. And so on Saturday, I was thinking about it, not wanting to get super burnt, and I don't like wearing the liquid sunscreen. I will if I have to. Like, I mean, that was the higher sun protection factor, so that's why I like that one. I'll usually try to put that one on parts that are more annoying when they start to peel. But I got, as I said, I got wrapped up in it and didn't get any on. So Saturday I was wearing a long sleeve shirt, which wasn't too bad. And then Sunday, once again, I forgot to put sunscreen on, just packing up, and then we had a parent barbecue and ceremonies and whatever because it was our year end. So we actually also had it's our official year end family barbecue, even though we have about 3 or 4 meetings left. And so that's when we had the ceremonies for moving kids up from one section to the next. So I got wrapped up in that and didn't put sunscreen on. And yeah, I got really burnt after both days. So this first day I had a long sleeve shirt the whole time. People are like, aren't you hot? I'm like, no, we're good. Coolmax shirts are awesome. So yeah, that was great. But then my nose is actually quite sore, which kind of sucks when you've got allergies, because then not only you got the sunburn to deal with, you've got, oh, thank you to this mystery sleeper. I appreciate that. So yeah, not only got the sunburn to deal with, but then of course you're making your nose raw from all the tissues. So yeah, looking forward to getting the allergies over with. There is a part of the world, or part of the year, where I don't have allergies, but I'm starting to wonder if that's going to be a thing going forward. My grandmother ended up having postnasal drip for her last few years in such a way that she always sounded like she had allergies and always had tissues. And there's a distinct possibility that I may have inherited that. And it doesn't have anything to do with bad sinuses or anything like that. It's just, we got bad genes, I suppose. So, I'm hoping not, because that's expensive on survival meds. Just so that you don't always be sniffling and snorking and making horrible noises. So this wall, when we're done here, is going to eventually be approximately 10-ish blocks tall. Can't have that show. So I'm looking forward to being able to get it put in, because 10 blocks tall, if I put a proper overhang on it, then we won't have creepers harassing us, and we won't have oops, this doesn't look good. We won't have creepers bothering us, and we won't have a ton of spiders if I actually put the proper overhang on it, so that's good to know that I can actually do something like that. The inside will probably be lit up rather than pathed, and eventually, pardon me, eventually we'll sink the lighting into the ground, but for the most time that you see the area, it will just be purely lit up with torches or lanterns or something just on the ground, because as we build houses into this, then we're going to need to keep moving the lighting. It's just going to either generically be in the way, or the way the houses block the light from other areas, then we'll need to put down more, and then we can sort out the final values towards the end. If we bother. I mean, we don't even have to, really. No, let's just go with that. I'm just kind of going with the flow here in terms of how I feel about putting blocks on the back. I'd like it to be not showing, but some levels only have one block, some levels have two sets of stairs, so being very inconsistent on this one. Going with the flow is good for Tuesday. Yep. A day of the week ending in Y. Some days of the week end in WHY, but this one just ends in the letter Y. Random thing it reminds me of. When I was a kid, there was an episode of Sesame Street, so the Jim Henson production, where a character wanted to know why. And what it turned out is he's basically, the character is like the town Wild West bully kind of character. He's the roughest, toughest guy in town kind of thing, and he wants to know who bought the last box of crayons. And he's asking everybody in the sort of local tavern or saloon who bought the last box of crayons over and over and over again. And then he finally finds the guy who did, and he just says he wants to know why. And the other guy's sort of shaking in his boots, all scared that the tough is going to hurt him and whatever. Of course, this is Sesame Street. That's never going to happen. But he wants to know why. And so the other guy said, "Well, I wanted to," and he cut him, and the bully cuts him off. And he says, "No, no, 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 no." So he grabs a crayon out of the box and proceeds to draw it on a newspaper that's been mounted on the wall, and he just wants to know the letter Y. He wants to know if he got it correct. I just thought that was... It sticks in my head and comes up frequently when I'm talking about days ending in Y. But yeah, so he doesn't want to know the question of why, as in why did you buy the last box of crayons? He wants to know about the letter Y. And then they all start partying because he's happy. New Geek Out just came up, and the topic is 4 literary titles that take place in France. So we're talking magazines, cartoons, not cartoons, sorry, magazines, comic books, novels, that sort of thing. Oh, Three Musketeers is a good one for that, exactly. Another good one for that, I would say, is probably, excuse me, the original story behind Beauty and the Beast. That one has, I know Disney's Disneyfied the heck out of it, but the original story was definitely set in France. I mean, we've got classic Hunchback of Notre Dame, which was, I believe it's a Hugo title. We're talking books set in France. We've got Les Miserables. That's sort of a me thing, and I'm going to end up with tons of music in my head after this. I'm huge into the musical version of it. Out of Monte Cristo. Yeah, I think we're knocking this 4 titles out of the park. And I've got a bunch of stuff overlapping one another, so there's a problem here. Give me a quick second to figure out what it is that is overlapping things. Vertical chat, where is that? This one. Let's hide that. That's odd. It seemed like it the whole time. Sorry, guys. Huh. Oh, I know what I'm doing. Haha, silly me. There we go. I apologize. I went back to playing and didn't turn off the display capture. My bad. Sorry, guys. That's really weird. Yeah. There we go. That makes far more sense. Sorry about all the chaos on screen. That was awful. But we've definitely hit that geek out of the park. Let's see if we can grab ourselves a new one. Really? There we go. So we're looking for 2 energy drink brands. Let's see how many we can actually name, because I'm pretty sure we can pull more than 2. Rogue, that's one I've never heard of. Jolt, Bolt, Monster. Some would probably qualify your Gatorades in that category. Hey, Big Hairy GM, good to see you. How are you doing today? Hope you had a good weekend. Ooh. Wow. That's funny you should mention that, actually, because I just saw this morning that Twitch has gone and clarified the rules for sponsors, like for branded partnerships and branded sponsorships on streams. Doesn't affect this stream at all, but it's going to be interesting because they've got a new. Basically, when you watch YouTube and you see the little tag at the top that says like, this video includes paid sponsorship material, and you have to expect there's going to be commercials or whatever for that video. They're doing that on Twitch now, so basically it'll show up for 10 seconds, kind of like a pre-roll ad, I guess. It'll show up for 10 seconds at the beginning of when somebody arrives in stream, and then it goes away after that. So, but it's just interesting because I didn't personally know anybody that was doing branded sponsorships, but I had forgotten about Local Brickshop because I just forget stuff like that. But it was interesting to note that that's a thing, because I do understand that that sponsors would love to have that, and I don't think it's going to do much to scare people off. I mean, it doesn't seem to bother people at all when they're doing sponsorships in YouTube in that way. It's just, it has a little tag in the corner. It's non-intrusive. You're fine. On the other hand, with the length of streams that Local Brickshop has, some days I'm not surprised if energy drinks are his best friend. Oops. Speaking of Local Brickshop, who does Lego, I'm hoping that I'll be in the mood. Not in the mood, sorry. That's not a question. Pardon me. It's not a question of mood. My plan, and you'll find out more next week, but my plan is to try and do. Oh, okay. To try and do the end-to-end build stream of Grimald Place. Sorry, blanked on that. I'm hoping to do that next week, so next Friday, or the Friday after that. We'll have to have a discussion with Fantastic Chalk Fox, but you guys will know before the end of this week whether it's going to be next Friday or the following Friday that we're going to try and put together the stream for that. A lot of it will have to do with scheduling and so forth. And the other part of it is that I'm going to be kind of burnt from scouting. And I don't mean sunburn in this case. I mean as in like too many things back to back. But I also don't want to get too involved because, or not too involved, too wound up, because weekends fairly soon. We've got another bottle drive for the year for fundraising. And that helps do things like, pay for camp rentals and stuff like that. So as much as I would love to dodge them, kind of stuck with it. And just go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quite often they are unrelated to the content. I mean, for example, even the energy drink technically is unrelated to Lego content. Yeah, the last camp rental our group had was amazing. We tend to try and rent provincial parks, so Canada has 2 different sets of park styles, and I suspect a lot of the states and other countries do as well, where there's smaller parks run by the provinces, and then bigger ones run nationally. And the national parks are awesome. Our province actually happens to have the oldest one in the country, and the largest as well. It's called Banff National Park. although technically our province has two. We also have Waterton National Park, which Americans might know as the park that's literally backed on the other side of the border from Glacier National Park in Montana. And in Glacier, trying to see, in Glacier National Park, there is, I'm stealing from a design I made. Not I made, I borrowed. 1, 2. We've got on the front side, it looks like every second, okay. Interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay. So anyways, in these larger parks, it's great work, but we need to keep using them in order to retain them, and our province is not so great at some of their parks. This one was quite nice. So we had a group spot where there really wasn't a whole lot of trees, and that's my only complaint with it. The rest of it was beautiful. Come on, shift, there we go. The rest of the park was beautiful, but for once they actually had stuff that was maintained well, and we had a very nice park ranger that checked in on us about 3 times, I think, just to make sure that we had everything we needed. So that was really a pleasure to work with her. Let's see. Fantastic Sherlock Fox says, for local, I think it's more that they actually drink it, comment on it, do reviews, etc. Feels more honest than doing an ad for VPN services along with a gadget channel or similar. Yeah, oh, I can totally see that. I've also seen people that talk about, in terms of like VPNs, where this type of advertising works, is when they're talking about, about VPNs in such a way that, and stealing another design, where am I here? Does that go all the way across the bottom? No. On the front. Huh. Okay. I get to wing it. No problem. So on some of the other ones, they talk about being on an SMP, for example, and that when you get lag on your SMP, sometimes it's easier if you are using a VPN to connect to the SMP so you can reroute yourself through a faster set of nodes, yada yada yada, that kind of thing. And I don't need to do that, but the point is still, with regards to advertising, that some people do. It's quite helpful for them, right? I'm not that, as I said, I'm not that way, and if I did need a VPN, we do have access to one, so, you know, great. But where I was going with that was to say that for those that need to, that makes sense, but you're very right that sometimes the very out of place postings are just annoying. I mean, sometimes, though, things like energy drinks can probably fit anywhere, anytime. Okay, what do we got for height? 1, 2, 3. I'm borrowing a design from, in case you're curious, I've been showing this once before. So I've got the Minecraft Medieval Fortress, and I'm stealing their wall design-ish. I mean, we're going to play with it to make it work in various different spots. But I'm horrible at texturing. That's part of why I'm borrowing their design. Okay. And that's why I'm borrowing some of their design, just to go with a very basic texture style, because it's not necessarily something I'm great at. Let's just pop this one up, pop this one. Oops. Once I've got a section that I can repeat, then we're good. But repeating this one is not going well. Let's see. As I repeated, the wall over here is very, very bland and repeatable. That's great. But I kind of like the sort of faux doorway thing going on in some spots. Okay, so we're only 3 blocks up. And I'm going to take a flat one like this. And bricks along this one. Oh, not that one. That and bricks. Okay, fly out, see what that looks like. That's actually not that bad. A couple more spots where it's every second before I put another one of the arch bits in, and I think that would work. Okay. So let's kill this. I just have to keep remembering which way I'm going. And what did I want to do with this one? Okay, so I'm just going to finish out to the edge of this stone thing, and then it's somewhat repeatable, more or less. So that means for the purposes of what I need, I can actually just do it layer by layer and not worry about it. 1, 2, 3, 4. At the end of that. Oh, okay. Easy enough. Come on, wrong button. Wrong button. 1, 2, 3, 4. The number of times I've been actually, like, taking damage simply because I've opened inventory instead of actually opening the character, or sorry, moving the character, it's kind of disappointing. Okay, so to tie it into this wall over here, what did we have? Every third, right? So every third, okay. So what I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, in between. So let's see, 1, 2, oops. 2, 3, 4, 5, and like this. Yeah, it's just city walls, so I think that'll work. The 3 on the castle and 5 out here. Actually, that's 2 on the castle. 2 and 3. 2, 3, 4, 5. You know what? Let's just keep it the same. And I can get it memorized. It's easier. And it matches. Great. Okay. So what I'm going to do is run along the whole thing and just do the bottom layer. So it'll be 2 stone and a brick. And then we can always change it up later with like mossy and cracked and stuff like that. But at least for now, that we can get things looking somewhat predictable. And this one does not need to be there. Oh, actually it does. What did I do there? That's going to be a weak point. Let's pull this one out. 1, 2. Where'd the stairs go? Pardon me. Looks good to you? Excellent. So we dealt with energy drink brands. We now have another random, Jeepers Creepers. 4 celebrities who have twins. Oh. Not who are twins, who have twins. That's different. What I'm doing every time I make it wider on the corners is... This one wrong again. This one's got to be a 3 as well, I think. What I'm trying to do is keep the wall two blocks thick all the way along. So, such that, like, if somebody in theory, if they were to come through and try and attack here, we're at least 2 blocks thick that direction as well. In spite of the fact that Minecraft doesn't measure that way, they're more of a taxi style thing where you know, 2 this way and 1 that way. So 2 blocks, you know, yeah. But my brain wants to think in the real world diagonals, which means that I need to make sure that it's 2 blocks thick everywhere. Okay, and that'll work. That's why you catch me adding extra blocks in some places. 2, and then if I don't add another one here, make it like 3, then it's gonna not work. There we go. Bedtime. I don't quite think that's what they mean, Fantastic Sherlock Fox. I think they mean as kids. So, I guess parents. So I think maybe it might be best off to skip this one for now. Come back to it. 4 shows in which... Jeepers, we've had this one. Gonna need to get another set. Ha ha ha. I mentioned that book earlier. I will stay out of this one for the moment. I know I could actually rattle them off left, right, and center, but I'm going to leave this one for someone else. Fantastic Sherlock Fox will probably have it.
Hello?
Hello? Hello, how are you? Pleased to meet you. Always curious to know how you're doing and how you managed to find the stream. So welcome, welcome, welcome. The other thing, if you wouldn't mind, I don't want to ruin your name. So please, if you get an opportunity, if you wouldn't mind and you get an opportunity, if you could please let me know how you want to be addressed, as in preferred nickname and pronouns. You probably can, Big Hairy GM. Go for it. Cool. Well, I'm always curious to know what attracted your attention because I'd like to learn and grow from everybody coming in. This stream is incredibly casual, making it short summary. I'll just show you the real quick map here. So we have a castle up top, which is far too big for the scale it needs to be, and the town that's far too small for the scale it needs to be, but, you know, we'll get there someday. And then over here we've got an abbey. The whole theme is based off of medieval period, with a mystery book series called Brother Cadfael Chronicles, and so I'm sort of making some of the key spots from the series, and got a spot that looks kind of like the real landform in Shrewsbury, England, where the book series is set, so we're working with it. And the town wall is ridiculously small, but this bit down here is all kinds of caves and ravines and things that I have not covered. So I'm debating whether or not I'm going to cover them and move the wall way, way out, but a lot of it has to do with the size of the town, so we can build the town and then just move the wall if we need to. You like small streams with a family-friendly tag. Well, that's excellent. The only time that I knowingly slip on the family friendliness, and the reason I keep the tag, is that, like when I slip, it's because I've been shocked quite badly, like as in a fall or a death randomly, and every once in a while you'll get a small cuss to squeak out, but that's very, very few and very, very far between. I also don't have tolerance for people who want to mess with the stream and say too many adult things. So if you're looking for a safe small stream to hang out in, and you're interested in some Minecraft and chatter, that's a good place to be. Okay, what did I have? 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't have any plans for how many sections down. I guess we'll just organically do that as we go. So you are welcome here. We do our best to be as welcoming to anybody and everybody, so in spite of the fact that I'm wearing a Hogwarts Harry Potter t-shirt, that I am a fan of that, and I will build Lego on occasion of that theme, but yeah, that's about as far as that part goes. I'm just about exclusively Minecraft. So, family friendly is where it's at. We have a bit of a joking, for your benefit and for Big Hairy GM who hasn't been around all that long. Pardon me. I've got a bit of a joking gag from time to time. It's not anything you're going to see on stream, but I like to joke about the fact that sometimes my streams are at what I call DST, which is Delenn Standard Time, meaning every once in a while something will come up and I will get a little bit of a delayed start, but for the most part we try to stay relatively to schedule when we can, which is usually... Oh. I did this bit wrong right in here. No wonder it looks weird. Which is usually 3 days a week, although Tuesdays and Thursdays I go twice. So it feels like a lot. 5 streams a week. And if anybody ever misses one and wants to catch up on it, that's what the YouTube channel is for. It's a the vast majority of the time, it's a completely raw recording of the VOD. We get done here and I upload it over there, and that's that. I think I've only ever edited twice for the YouTube channel, and that was just because I'd accidentally exposed something I shouldn't have. Okay, let's see. Jean Valjean, Cosette, Fontaine, Maria Chavert, Thénardiers, yep, Gavroche, Monsieur what's his name, and so 6. Yep, you only needed 2 and you got 6. That's not bad. Excuse me. Those are the major ones for sure. For sure. I should remember this. Eponine is the other one I was thinking of that wasn't listed there. But other than that, yeah, you've hit them all. Are you by any chance a fan of any sort? Just being able to rattle them off that easily. Ooh, cool. So, if you don't mind my asking, is it Zayden or a different pronunciation? I don't want to mess it up for too long. Perfect. Perfect. I'm from Canada, so sometimes, aside from my bad allergy-sounding voice at the moment, sometimes we pronounce things a little bit different around here than other parts of the world. Though strangely enough, I did an archived test from New York Times the other day. I think it was New York Times. I'll have to dig up the link and put it in Discord. But I did a test where they say, ballparking, where are you from based on how you pronounce things? And strangely enough, the results came out that I'm either from a very small portion of northern Minnesota, that I thought was, northern Montana, pardon me, or else they figured I was from Florida. Which does not surprise me, because there are an awful lot of Floridians that are actually expat Canadians. Oh, dude. Don't scare me like that. So it must be 3:06 p.m. with this many mobs. Sounds to me like we have a thunderstorm coming in. I am a very casual and very, very chicken Minecraft player. Very chicken? Oh, come on. So, I do not like mobs. I have a whole lot of, what do you call it? A whole lot of stuff like Skulk in the bottom of my base that I have never been to. I have no intention. Thank you! That's probably Creef, I'm gonna bet. Let's see. Oh, nope, JBT's my secret sleeper. Thank you! As we could sleep through the day. I wasn't getting the thunder, but whoa! Clearly someone else was. Let's go back up here. You, sir. Come here. You, sir, are not welcome. Go away. There we go. Not a total chicken, but pretty close. So, Zayden, I was curious to say, you were trying to continue your own Minecraft project. Which is your favorite format of Minecraft? Are you a Bedrock fan, a Java fan, modded? What style suits your fancy? I've played both. They each have their pros and cons, and some of them have parody challenges. And some people do or don't like the way that parody changes have been handled. But you play Java, but you have Bedrock also, yeah. Most of us have Bedrock. Not everybody plays both. I don't know actually what I want to do with X, because with 120 I think I'm going to start a solo world. I'm enjoying this world quite a lot, but here's the sort of the kicker. Wow, that just sounded weird. I'm enjoying this, but as I may have mentioned on stream previously, that sometimes when you're working on an SMP with multiple players, some play a lot faster than I do. I'm not a speed player, as you can clearly see. And the result for that is that when I'm on a server, sometimes there isn't the motivation to do a bunch of stuff just because there's no need. Somebody on the server's done it. There's a community, whatever it is, or they're very, very nice and let you use their private build. And that's great. It's just that it makes it a little less challenging in that respect. I mean, I know I could duplicate everything. That's fine. You know, a lot of people do. It just wasn't something that I was finding interesting. So, as a 120 exercise, I was debating whether or not I was going to play in Bedrock or Java, and I don't know. Probably Java, for a couple of reasons. One is that they have not changed the mechanics for things like iron farms, and frankly, that's a big one for me. Another piece that's a huge deal for me is... do I need more stairs? No, I think I'm good. Another piece that's a huge deal for me is this offhand business. I'm not always about the totems, but... oh, I'm going to need some more. Shoot. But I mean, I'll admit they're handy, right? And being able to block without squatting, that's a huge one for me. I think it's really stupid that you have to squat when you use your shield in Bedrock. It bugs me. So I'll probably stay Java, but it's not a one better than the other. The other thing is I tend to get really lost really easily. So you'll see a mini-map in the corner. Basically, the way I look at mods is more of a use what you need to do to keep the game fun for yourself. So whatever it takes to keep the game fun for you. And for some people, that means that they need to have nothing added, and it has to be as clean as can be. And in that case, you know, play whatever you want to your heart's content. But if it makes it more fun for you to be able to have a bunch of things like mini maps and so on, then maybe Java's the way to go for you for now. There are plenty of add-ons built for Bedrock that do a lot of the things that Java players can do with mods. Not everything's covered yet, but I mean the add-on space is growing, and I think that it's definitely opening up the world to people who want both, and it allows people to play with, you know, cross-platform is a serious win. Like, I would love to play with some of the personalities from the Jadcraft community who only have, say, Switch. You know, that would be fantastic, but it's not to be if I'm going to stick with Java. Some of the mechanics might be more important because, as you can see, we have 2 people on the server right now. That's it. Yeah, I'm a Vanilla Plus, I guess you could say Vanilla Plus quality of life player. But, and the twist in that one is that I have no ill will against those who want to be totally vanilla. The only time I have ill will against somebody is if they're trying to tell me how to play in the, oh my goodness, how you're choosing to play is so cheaty. In that case, they can just go take a flying leap. But beyond that, I'm a Vanilla Plus player in that, as I say, I like a lot of quality of life mods. So my pack, quote unquote, is kind of crazy long. I'll give you a quick example. We'll actually remember to turn the screen back on this time. So one more real quick display capture thing. So blank this, turn on that one. There we go. So you can see I have a lot of mods. I have a bunch of mods. People are like, why would you have both X and Y? Like I've got 2 sets of maps, for example. There we go. I remembered this time. Yay! Where was I at? Purist. Oh, right. So I just caught the Big Hairy GM says, you're not a purist. Ooh. Welcome back. I know I shouldn't shout out someone who hasn't actually said hello today, but hey, if you're going to redeem points, then you're going to get a hello. So, let's see. My note says, welcome back. I think it's Chris. Yeah. But glad to see you. Been a while. Anyway, here, Uh-oh, which way did I come from? Let's see. Ah, okay. I'm facing uphill. I gotta go this way. Cool.
Oh,
Yep,
hello there.
Life's been busy. That's awesome. Yeah, there are exceptions. I mean, there are certain redeems that I won't say hello to, but most of them, yeah, if you're going to redeem points, you'll get a hello from me. Not necessarily an automated one like that, though. But yeah, anyways, where I was going with that is, so as long as people don't mind me, having not quality of life stuff, then I have no ill will to anybody who wants to play however they want. And one of the other reasons I want to start up a solo world is that it gives me an incentive to work on some of the types of designs. It could be building styles, it could be farm types or whatever that I have never done before, or at least I've not done frequently. And that means that I can work on all sorts of stuff and bumble through it. It's kind of like the idea of doing redstone on stream, Some people say that that's cursed to do redstone on stream. It may be, but we will find out whether or not I'm partial to that curse or not. Usually I am, but you never know. It's always going to be that way. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, where I was going with the thing to say, Bedrock players have more and more options when it comes to add-ons and such that do something similar to mods. It's not always as clean as the mod format, but if it means that some players can play with their friends who don't have PCs, because not every family is into PCs for their house. Ooh, that worked out well. Sort of. What did I do here? Oh, that was not right. 1, 2, it's wrong way. This one. I'm on a corner. Corners make life interesting. Okay. If that's what it takes to be able to play with your friends who are not on PC, sure. You do what you need to do. Okay. This one. And that one. Let's put the block back. Anyway. So one of my biggest pet peeves, and I know you guys didn't ask, but one of my biggest pet peeves is when, as I say, when people say, hey, doing it with extra things is cheaty. But also, I just get so tired of the X version of Minecraft is better than Y. Bedrock over Java, or Java over Bedrock. It doesn't matter. It would be nice if they had straight parity, but they don't. That's just the way it is. And so it's less me picking A over B. I usually try and choose the version I'm going to play based on whatever it is I want to do. So if I'm in a solo world, I may go Java simply because I can do the iron farm once I get villagers. In a rather sane sort of way, and yet if I choose to have a trading hall, and I don't have to have it like 200 blocks away. Well, that's it. That's actually a perfect one, Chris. I play Bedrock. I have played Bedrock before. And people say a lot of the mechanics are different. And I do get that. Like, there are parity differences in terms of how things operate. Like, Redstone's a good example there. But for the most part, the stuff I do, I tend to keep it simple enough that I can generally treat the mechanics the same. So until it fails, then I go in and explore why is it, or what is different about it, why is what I did failing. And that's really how I go about a lot of it. Because, I mean, there is some very basic consistencies between the two. Endermen hate you. Creepers want hugs. You know? Skeletons want to shoot you. That's really all they do. So, I mean, when it comes right down to it, you dig for things at the same level, you know? We're all going to have trims. We're all going to have purdy-looking armor if we bother to go looking for trims or duplicating trims. And that's the other thing, actually, is I'm not super excited about the whole trim thing. So in the solo world, you'll probably see me staying somewhat vanilla armor for a while, just because I don't really care. I mean, there's a lot to be excited about in the new updates, but nothing that I'm going to be majorly running for right away. So yeah, it's going to be a new experience to... I shouldn't say new, it's been a long time since I've started a vanilla world. I don't like phantoms. I wouldn't say they're useless per se. They're there to basically to keep people from just plowing on through the night. Like, I mean, if you, for example, if you have the current netherite armor, and I'm wearing the elytra when I don't really need to, but if you do that and then have everything souped out, you can mostly ignore the mobs as though they're not really in your face, as they're not really there, kind of thing. Whereas, I mean, like, they become more like flies you got to deal with, right? Whereas phantoms, yes, they're still there, you still got to deal with them, but it's one of those things where it's encouraging players to go to bed. Whatever the mechanic is, and why they want to do it, I don't know, but it's encouraging players to go to bed if you don't like phantoms. And the phantom membranes, kind of pointless, I think. Oh, there we go. I mean, it's nice that they have a purpose, but they have a purpose until suddenly you don't need them. And what I mean by that is that once you've got mending on your elytra, then no more need whatsoever for membranes. Like, even that mechanic of how it was, how that part worked, it's kind of janky in the first place. So, yeah. On our server, quite often you'll find them referred to as sky rats, because we don't really like them. 2, 3. Okay. You can tell I don't have Bobby turned on. So one of the mods in that long list I showed you earlier is a mod called Bobby. What it allows you to do is to have locally cached, so on my computer, versions of every one of the what do you call it? The chunks that you go through. And so what that allows you to do is on whatever your render distance is, I guess, you can actually have that sort of turned up, but your game isn't really turning it up. What it's doing is it's saying up to whatever you set as your client's render distance is what it's going to show you as the chunk. On a server, of course, that's often cut a lot shorter, just so that we don't end up with a whole ton of lag and so forth. And so Bobby will have a locally cached version of that. It's not updating with mobs, animals, entities, that kind of jazz. But problem with doing that, though, is enabling that one gives you quite a notable FPS, or frame per second hit. And some days my frames per second is in the trash heap as it is.
There.
So yeah. But yeah, if you're in a single player world or a server where you've got some decent frames per second, then by all means I recommend it. It's a really nice mod. Hey Poodle, how you doing? Made my stream, yay! Yeah, I haven't had a chance to attend one of yours yet, Poodle, but that's just because camp and all that jazz. So when I came back from camp on the weekend, I was fairly certain you were going to be streaming one of the times, but I was just like I was low on jam, low on energy, and so I was not in the shape to be attending streams, unfortunately. I do apologize for that. 7th year of your survival world. Awesome. I've never had one that I've actually had last that long. Part of it is because I made some mistakes along the way with some of my old survival worlds. Or not survival, sorry, solo worlds. And this mistake along the way was just more that I lose interest in the survival worlds because one of the perks to playing on an SMP is even if you're doing a lot of stuff solo like we are today, it tends to eventually feel like there's people there on a server because you see the chatter go by and whatever. As much as I would love to have proximity chat on the server so that we don't have to see everybody's chitter chatter, I actually like sometimes seeing that because it doesn't feel so alone. So that's part of my issue with solo world sometimes is you feel very alone. There's nothing going on, nobody around you. Also, sometimes it's nice if you've got questions you need help with. That said, solo worlds are great for that, but the mistake I'd made is partly because of the aloneness factor. I often opened it up to playing with other people, being like my kids or my husband or whatever, which is great. I would love to hang out with Fantastic Sherlock Fox, every single day of the week if I possibly could. But that's just not realistic. And the other thing is once I've done that, then going back into the world by myself feels extra lonely. Oh, I blew it. This isn't supposed to be this color. So going back into a world like that, after I've had it be a group world, I can never really go back and be happy with it. The other part is I have a bad tendency just to lose them. It wasn't all that long ago that I had learned about multi-MC and figured out just how easy it is to use, and I love it. But sometimes I get a little tangled on which world's where and so on, and we've had servers and stuff up and down, and so I don't even know what's what in my collection of whatchamacallums, of stored worlds anymore. So I need to really look into that. Yes, my voice is going out. It seems that I have perma allergies. So, as with allergies, you get all kinds of generic gunk and you're stuck. Yeah, there's a reason that the Sing a Snippet redeem has not been enabled for quite a while. Part of it is because I think people got sick and tired of oldies and musicals, but partly because my voice is just not in any shape or form for me to even want to embarrass myself that way. That looks like 3 in a row. Because it is. It's supposed to be. But yeah, I was getting over a nasty cold that was a sinus thing, and then I went to camp, which was great, but side effect of that, of course, is you have campfire and talk too much and all that stuff. So my voice really does probably need a break. Hydrations, unfortunately, are not helping a whole lot at the moment. Just the way it is. So yeah, I'm going to develop a reputation for being gravelly. A whole different sound. Here's one for everybody.
2, 4, 6, 8, everybody hydrate!
I am very confused, but I will figure it out later. No idea what that was about. But yeah, so that's why we haven't heard those before. Or seen that particular redeem in a while. It's funny because my son was honest and he's like, "Mom, don't sing. That's not on stream or otherwise, just not right now, don't sing." And normally I will lead songs at our group campfires, and he was right, so I told the organizers of our group campfire on the weekend, I am not going to be leading a song, there is no way, please don't ask. And then I figured I wasn't going to do anything, and it turned out that they got stuck and they randomly decided they were going to ask the leaders to put together a skit, suddenly. It's like, this is a bad one. So I pulled out an old joke out of, it's the kind of stuff my dad tells, like they're that bad kind of thing. not just dad jokes, the one-liner variety, but these ones are one of those ones that have a little bit of a build-up. So I quickly explained to the two other scouters that had volunteered what the storyline of the joke was, and we tried to act it out. It didn't work all that well, but the punchline went over well, so I guess that was all we needed. But yeah, I'm quite glad that the camp coming up this weekend, the major camp organizers are doing the designing the campfire program, and none of the groups actually have to bring anything to that, so we get a bit of a rest. Zayden says, I'm building a mega volcano and I want to build a huge ice dragon hovering over my base. The thing is, I have no idea how to do it in survival. Ah! And I'm trying to remember, I think you said, scrolling back here, was it Bedrock or Java? You said, and then I went and got lost. Anyways, where I was going with that is, no matter which version you've got, you can use, like if you want to design it in Creative, and then you can turn that into a schematic or lightmatic, and then build that in survival. I mean, if you're not flying, it's a bit of a challenge, but I have no qualms whatsoever about using Lightmatica, and I can't remember who it was that built it, but there's a version of the schematic stuff that you can use in Bedrock, where it uses armor stands to project the blocks for your schematic, and then you can use that to copy it. The basic part of Lightmatica is dead simple, but Poodle Pirate, I will post in one of the Discords after, or DM you. The YouTuber that I really like his Lightmatica instructions. I think he makes it very simple and very clear, but he calls himself Abfelder, and but I can just post straight to the playlist for it. Yeah, I find Abfelder's videos are really helpful, and he's got great little pauses in there in the way he talks, so that makes it really easy for someone to be able to pause the video and then try out whatever he's talking about, or if you didn't quite catch what he was saying, then you can easily roll it back. So I'm looking at sitting through more of his account or his videos to be able to get more of the advanced features, but the basic stuff is definitely easily explained. The other thing I do is use a lot of pictures. So if schematics is not your thing, you know, the little shadowy things, if that's not your thing, then often I'll play with a picture, either on the side of my screen or I actually have a 3-screen setup, so I'm a little spoiled that way, but I can put the reference photo on another screen, and I didn't do any of this right. There we go. That's what happens to me when I start getting talking. Okay. This one, 2, 3. Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. So rather than showing it more than once, the Abfelder videos definitely show it once, but there's great little pauses so that you can do that. And often he puts timestamps in his videos, so if you want to go straight to a particular skill, then it makes it easier to find them. Yeah, for sure. But I actually have to be careful in this one as well, because, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, I do get motion sick, so when I was trying to figure out what I wanted the wall to look like, and I kept looking back and forth, yeah, I was feeling pretty rough by the time I logged out. I didn't realize it because I was on that edge where I was just starting to get a little rough, didn't notice, and then, like, literally within about 5 to 10 minutes of playtime after I had logged off stream last week, I was just trying to straighten up the part of the wall that I didn't like the sort of angled jagginess to. And, yeah, it was nasty. Motion sickness is not fun. I could play with the field of view, but sometimes playing with it, like as in mucking around with it, the experimentation part makes me feel nauseous. So it's kind of like, okay, well, once you're already out, trying to fuss around to make things better is not going to happen. Like, it's just not going to work, so I figured I'll just leave it, and we'll see how things go. 1, 2, 3. There we go. I would say it makes stream building easier, but I still get very distracted by it. So one of the things I also find super useful is a lot of people have the chat for their streams on the side. And what I mean by that is 1, 2, 3. Sorry, pardon me. Is they still have it in their, like, say, their OBS or their Streamlabs or whatever. But that's a very solid window, so even if you pop it out so you can see it better, it's a very solid window. You can't really play through that. So I run an extra app on top of my game. It makes it a little bit easier for me to see, and also gives little ding noises that thankfully I got sorted out so I don't have them pick up on my mic. And that means that every time I get a new message, it gives me a little bit of a ding, and I can just glance over on my play screen. Like, there's another one on my play screen, and I don't necessarily have to see what's going on. Or, well, like, I don't have to look across to my other monitor to be able to read the messages. So that's quite handy. Little Pirate says, I watch my chat on the second monitor through my dashboard. Yeah, whatever works for everybody. There's another app that works for some people who prefer Windows, but it does not work for Macintosh. But there's one called WindowTop, I think it is. I was testing that out recently, and what that one does is it allows you to pick any window on your screen in it so that it stays on top of everything else. And then optionally, if you want to, you can add a transparency to it with a little checkbox to allow whether or not you want it to be clicked through. So that's another way I've seen some people using the, pardon me, using their chat, is then they just pop it out of their dashboard over top of their game and then make it click through to play. But then the thing is, then you can't pop in to add commands or put responses or something, because you'd have to go back into the settings and turn off the checkbox and yada yada yada. It's to be a mess. Okay, where are we here? Well, it's interesting because it's a toss-up. Either I don't like the chat showing up while I'm building, or I find that I miss what people are talking about. So having it click through and see through is kind of handy. Because from the amount that you guys see over my head, if I actually, I'll just overlap the ugly mess again, so apologies for the mess. So if I turn on this window, the stuff that you can see kind of that's down where my head normally would be, that's coming from my other app, which is called Twitch Chat Overlay. And that's, so it's almost the same placement, and it's no wider than what you guys see when I don't have that screen showing. And so it's actually fairly minimal in the screen. And I get used to it because the majority of what I end up doing is in between the mini-map area and the chat zone. So yeah, it's just a different way to play, right? And it's funny how many extra widgets are available when you're doing streaming stuff. But yeah, for those who like vanilla game, you know, more power to you. And I like what's coming down the pipe when it comes to some of the parody changes. Like, for example, whether it be real parody or whether it be some awesome work by Foxy No-Tail, I don't personally know. However, you know, being able to get functional offhand is amazing to me. Oh, and that's a brick block. Functional offhand for what's I thinking of? 1, 2 block. How did that get messed up? Okay. Oh, corners. Right, corners. Corners are evil. I know this is going to go that way. So anyway, sorry. Functional offhand for Bedrock is something that people have been waiting for a very long time. I'll have to see how well it pans out. Yeah. So anyways, there's also people I know that insist on vanilla, 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 you know, like to ad nauseum they are doing vanilla and nothing else. And that's fine, right? Enjoy. Just not exactly my personal cup of tea. Okay, well, it's not quite 2, but hey, it'll do. You gotta have a mess up somewhere, right? Alrighty. I got over here. What I'm looking for is the wall to be 10 high when we're done. So what do we got so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Oh, oops. Dumb. 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on. 5, 6. There we go. Can't keep myself consistent today. I'm hearing notes come in. I'm just going to get slept through the night and then... That was dumb. Let's creeper-proof ourselves for a second. There, okay. All right. One of the things I'd like about maps, and actually I would like to have a local player map add-on available for Bedrock. Because it's not about maps per se, but for good reason, many servers, pardon me, many servers often say no maps when you're playing Bedrock. And that's because, maps bloat the save file for the world ridiculously. And it's not even a, whether you have the map with you or whether you have looked at it and then gotten rid of it. Basically, you open a map of any sort and you're stuck. You can't get rid of it. Size doesn't go down again afterwards. So for that reason, I would love it to be able to have like an add-on that allows a local mini-map, kind of like you can get with a mod in Java. It's probably never ever going to happen, but it's one of those would-be nices, right? Do I want that high? No sec. 1, 2, 3, 4. So no, 1, 2. This is going to drive me crazy. So I think I'm just going to have to build it as we go. All the way up to the 10, or at least to 6. I know what I want for 6. And then after that, it should be straightforward. It's all the same all across. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Shoot. I only wanted this 2 blocks high on this spot. Okay. It's the inside of the wall. Maybe I should work from the outside. Come on. I'm being fussy. Very, very fussy. It's kind of silly. I'm assuming then that the girls... Oops, sorry.
2, 4,
My apologies, I
6,
forgot.
8, everybody hydrate!
1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, yep, this one's wrong. Ah. You know, it would be so much smarter if I had put the beacon out here. I didn't. That would be, you know, sensible. Just so I could super jump my way back up. Yeah. Yeah, everybody hydrate. Kind of hard when you don't have something to hydrate with. So, next week's Scout Camp. What's on deck? Okay, so we're back to the Cubborama. In Canada, we have, I'm not sure what the age equivalency is in the US, but our Cub Scouts are 8 to 10 years old, and they, I keep jumping down, I keep looking out. What do we got? 1, 2, this is a safe one just to cover off. And so in our province, we've got 20 groups bringing youth to what we're calling the Cubborama. So basically it's like a micro jamboree for them. And the plan, if I understand correctly, 1, 2, 3, oops, this higher. 1, 2, okay, yeah. So if I understand the plan correctly, we are going to camp, as we mentioned earlier, its theme is myths and legends. And then at the Myths and Legends camp, each group had to pick their own myth or legend to represent. So ours chose Bigfoot. Okay. So we went with Bigfoot or Sasquatch. I showed a couple pictures earlier of the murals that we did, but the requirement for, or part of the requirement for the camp, is that every group bring materials for a gate. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, whatever. That's the inside, so that's fine. So, what do you got? 6. Nope, nope. So we all have to bring a gate, and there's also a costume contest. So hopefully everybody's putting together costumes. I'm crossing my fingers. Our group's costumes are probably going to be kind of weak sauce because parents just didn't understand. It's with COVID, the camp had gotten canceled so often that it's a whole brand new thing, as though it doesn't exist anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, this is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. What the heck? Started out being 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we went up for 1. 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're still 5. That's not bad. Anyway, so we had to bring. So hopefully we're having costumes. There's a costume contest and parade. The other thing we had to bring is what do you call it? An activity to share with other groups. So on Saturday, our groups go around and they get to do 5 30-minute activities before lunch, and then 5 30-minute activities after lunch. 1, 2. This one's too high. And then after lunch, 1, 2, 3, 4. Aha. 5, 6. That doesn't make any sense. 2. Anyway, long story made short. So you have to bring an activity. Our group decided to bring an activity where you protect an egg from cracking when it drops. And said egg, they've got 15 minutes to do it. So in order to get the materials that the youth is going to need to protect their egg, they need to, what's the word? They need to be able to demonstrate they know some scout-related stuff. So they need to be able to do things like saying our promise and our law and show us a knot and those sorts of things. And for every time they do it correctly, they're going to basically get loaned a poker chip, which we call them Akela bucks in our group. And so once they've got an Akela buck, they can spend that Akela buck on whatever supplies they need for the next step of protecting their egg. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay.
Hello?
Hello. Hey there, Creef. How are you doing? So, Poodle Pirate, I'm just curious, what sort of girls' camp will you be headed to? Is it like a boys, well, not boys and girls club, clearly, it's a girls' camp. Is it something like Girl Scouts, or is it a different organization of sorts? There are plenty of other ones. I know there was a different group who I used to work with called Dandelions, and they had their own system, but we have the Girl Scout equivalent up here as Girl Guides. 2, 6. Huh? I'm on the same level. I don't know. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, I'm too high. Okay. They shouldn't have gone up yet. Oh, okay, sorry. 3, 4, 5, 6, yes. There. Okay. Oh, understood. No problem. Wasn't all that busy? Excellent. Non-busy days are where it's at. If I thought this through properly, I would have remembered I should just get some scaffolding and call that a day. You can make life a lot easier and all this up and down business. And bed. I'm on the wrong side of the wall from it. So I keep forgetting.
2, 4, 6, 8, everybody hydrate!
One for me and one for you. Normally that should be the redeems from your angle, but because I've got the allergies bothering me, I figured I would just spread them around for everybody else. That's not the allergies, sorry. That makes no sense. The hydrates, that's where those come from. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. No. 6. There we go. So this one should be here. Probably the easiest way of doing it is just throw up the scaffolding, and I've got a big measure stick. Makes life easy. But I don't have to worry about what it is on the inside. I just make it match the outside. Okay, where did the train change? Not for a while. Okay, we're good. Like I left some up there. Whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'll worry about... Oh boy. I'm trying to figure out why that looks so weird, and it's... yeah. Because I broke my little rule. Excuse me a second. Not muted, okay. So my lore reasoning is I'm trying to make the wall be 2 blocks deep everywhere, which means that when I go around a corner like this, I need to actually make it thicker on the inside. Where is... there. So yeah, oopsie daisies. And there's a bunch where I really only wanted it to be 2 blocks high on the inside with this alternate block, but it didn't quite work out that way. Oops. There are days I wish that this was a gravity thing. Okay, let's just climb up back here and see. 2, 2, 2, 1. Okay. Come on. Guess you could barely reach it. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Yep, okay, double thick. I'll fix the bottom after, but at least I can reach the other part. Come on. Do the block. There we go. Barbecue. Ooh. Yeah, so the weekend with the Scouts was great. We had a good time. My kids weren't moving up this year, so Fantastic Shower Fox didn't have to come out, but he kindly did, which was nice. So what we've done the last couple of years, and it seems to be the preference now, so I suspect it's probably the way we're going to keep going forward, is having, where do we put it? Having a group, like a family barbecue, on the Sunday after camp. So we get the kids out on the Friday. We do have sort of our usual camp, which is a Friday, a Saturday all day, and the Sunday normally would be pickup. But what we often do is then we have family barbecue on the Sunday where the parents come out because they have to pick up their kids anyways. And they just stay for a meal and the ceremony part of the weekend. And that means that all the kids that are moving up and so on get their special moment in front of all of the parents. So it's kind of nice. But I'm a little bit oddly colored all around and you can't really see it all that well. I've got this like raccoon thing going on because I did the dumb and didn't sunscreen and should have. So at some point, I fully expect, as awful as it is, to at least have to go get a minor scare over like skin cancer or something. But it could also be that I've just picked up my dad's mom's lovely little ability to have age spots out the wazoo from sun that are completely benign. But yeah, she had all kinds of speckles. It was kind of a joke when we were little, but it's not the world's most healthy thing ever. All right. Now are we changing heights out here? Nope. Okay, good. Oops, wrong one. But yeah, we had a very good time, and they had hamburgers or hot dogs for people, and actually one of the silly good news items. And to me, it's good news because I'm always pleased when we manage to make families happy in an unusual way. But one of the families for whom they're due to religious beliefs, they don't do meat. They were actually quite pleased with the vegetarian burgers that we picked up. And that's great because I'm going to be feeding their daughter more vegetarian burgers this week, so it'll work out well. But long story made short, the girl's dad came in and asked what brand we had used because he thought they were quite tasty, which is good because dealing with vegetarian requirements at camp is always a handful. So I'm pleased when we can make families who have food restrictions like that happy with what we had served their kids. And it's funny because you hear tons and tons of stories from all over the internet of leaders who have varying opinions on whether or not to support, whether or not to support vegetarianism or whatever at camp. It's not that they don't want to, but what a lot of leaders unfortunately have found is that you get out to camp and some kids will do the thing where they look at their neighbor on one side, look at their neighbor on the other side, and they kind of go, you mind if I try a piece of that? And then they go and eat something that they weren't supposed to. And some parents will actually cause a huge fuss over that, and I would agree with them, as they should. But our kids generally, like the ones that we deal with in our group, tend to be actually fairly well behaved on that front and don't go trying other kids' stuff. We just don't have that problem here. So I have zero issue with supporting families' decisions. But it's kind of funny, and we ran into a couple of ones though where some groups like, I don't know whether or not we should have given a knife to one of our kids moving up because I don't know if culturally they're allowed to have a knife. So we'll have to check with their parents and see, you know? So it'll be interesting to see how that one shakes out. Where is this? Okay, we've changed heights. Yeah, we've got gluten-free, dairy-free, and someone who has so many things to avoid for bringing their own food. Interesting enough, we've got the same situation here. We don't have to worry about gluten-free at this particular one, although there is question as to whether or not I'm gluten sensitive. So I just have learned a lot of the symptoms and the triggers and just careful. But we don't have to worry about gluten-free on this one, but we do have to worry about the other ones, dairy-free and, what's the word? Dairy-free and egg-free, I think, is ours. I can't remember if it's ours or if it's the younger section. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how we figure that part out. This one. It's 2 batches. I should keep me for a little bit. Pardon me. Okay, so what have we got here? A really screwed up wall. That's part of it. All right. This is going to be... Wow. Did I ever confuse myself on that one? These 2 should be regular blocks. And this one should only be 2 units high. Okay. And then a regular one above that. Now, can I jump up and get on this wall, please? Thank you. No idea what I did here. I mean, it doesn't really matter if it's inside the wall, like in the wall, but I like the pattern to look right. Oh, no, not that one. So we've changed heights. Let's go with this height. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's gone up. What have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is here. 2, 3, and 6. I've complicated myself with dealing with trying to follow the terrain. Catering for all sorts of dietary requirements can also be expensive. Sometimes it's easier to cater for themselves. Yeah. Let's see, Poodlepart says, when I was about 8, I got non-pork eating girl to eat a hot dog. I was pretty naive then and didn't realize how naughty it was for me to do that. Now, here's a funny one, actually, that you should mention that. We have a group that we initially thought was non-pork. That's what we initially thought was going on. Turned out that was not the case. They are actually vegetarian. Good news was, in that respect, we tried really hard. Like, we planned for all chicken and stuff like that, so because we thought, okay, yeah, some people also do no beef, and so we'll just go with it this way, and she would cover all the bases. Well, turned out that wasn't the case, but thankfully, the girl's old enough to definitely be into that. However, her younger sister is one that we could easily convince to do otherwise, and so it took a little while for us to figure out who was what, I guess we could say, to make sure that we didn't let some of the younger ones mess around. So yeah, I totally get where you're coming from there. And you're right, they can also be expensive. Weirdly enough, the ones that we deal with tend to be, by their choice, far too accommodating, and it makes it challenging for us because the thing is they say, oh, well, I'll eat this or that, or, you know, like it makes it easier for them. Oh, come on. To say that, because they think they're being nice. 4, 5, 6. 6, yeah, I went up 1. Okay. It's easier for them to think they're being nice. Problem is, at our side, that it actually complicates things, because if they would just be more specific, we wouldn't have to worry about it. 2, 3. Oops, is that 1 or 2? 2, okay. One more. Okay, so yeah, it's going to be fun. So yeah, the family that or the younger sister will happily eat something else. She won't take from her friends, so that's kind of nice because then we can just let all the kids know, yeah, do not share your food. Because I mean, it's, you know, germ-wise alone, it's one of those things that you just don't want to worry about. But the other thing that we can do on that one is her parents have said, yeah, the bigger thing is don't feed her pork, but we would really prefer if you went vegetarian. Yeah, they're not into vegan, so that makes life easy, because we had one family that was, and that was really interesting to try and work with. 2, 3, 4. Oops. Come on. Thankfully no vegans, because that would make life really challenging at a youth camp. But the non-dairy one actually is our biggest pain, simply because we like to do things like pancakes. And a lot of the mixes have dairy in them, like as in it's an all-in-one, you just add water and away you go. But not so good on the non-dairy one. Part of the problem is that it's one thing if you've got like cereal or something, and your non-dairy kids are just eating more cereal. Oh, please tell me I didn't. Oh. Well, I figured out where my weird corner came from, where I was short 1 farther down, so they doubled up here. Do I care? Probably not. It's something that's going to make it organically different. And anyway, but the problem with non-dairy substitutes for dairy products, like if you use, say, almond milk or coconut milk, I guess, or a few others, a few others of that style, of that nature, they don't always mix up the same in an egg-based or in a pancake mix. So the other thing actually we've got this weekend, we've got timings involved, and thank heavens one of my other leaders has decided he likes to cook. He's going to do all the cooking, and I said, yes, you can have that, Peter. Go for it. Go for it. Because that way, I only have to worry about herding the monkeys to get them to the right spot on time. Because at Cubs, they wash their own dishes. So if they're pokey at the meal, then they try not to wash or they often skip washing their dishes, which, aside from being A, disgusting, and B, just a real pain in the butt, trying to deal with time to get the water boiled and cooled enough that the kids can use it. And then we do a three dish system, or sorry, a 3-bin system. So we've got wash water, rinse water, and bleach. When you're doing a 3-bin system, thankfully it doesn't all have to be the same temperature, but it's still helpful if it is. Yeah. I mean, everybody has their own reasons for doing whatever it is they do. Like, for example, I did gluten-free for over a decade, and it definitely alleviated a lot of symptoms. But unfortunately, for various different reasons, I have a rather, how do I put it? Systematic GP, which basically means that she will not agree to make something a medical requirement on your record if she hasn't got every single test for that thing basically done. And what that, for gluten sensitivity, unfortunately, is one where I can't exactly skip certain tests according to her, as much as I would love to. So let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. And as you can imagine, there are a few that are not exactly fun. So even though most gluten sensitivity testing these days can be done exclusively through blood tests, crossed with genetic tests, I've got a GP who refuses to recognize that unless you actually also have some lovely gastro testing done, which are the ones that I refuse. Certain levels of grossness I just refuse to do. And that's not very wise, but you know, it is what it is. So yeah, I end up learning what the triggers are and so forth and just avoid stuff. But when I can have the opportunity to do gluten-free, because we're already doing gluten-free for some other youth, then I will definitely jump on their bandwagon. Take care, Creef. Have a great evening. Enjoy your rest of your day, and we'll see you again soon. And I'm getting really rather distracted because I didn't realize I've gone over 2 hours. Our music hasn't looped yet. There we go. What have we got? What have we got done? Well, the wall's a little taller, such that you won't have zombies and stuff walking over it all that easily, which is kind of nice. We still have quite a ways to go because this is only up to level 6. But once we got everything up to level 6, then I can go, okay, I know where I am, and just keep going. But finding the various heights is becoming a challenge. So anyway, you can just barely see the edge of the wall sort of floating there, and I don't know why that's rendering, whereas nothing else is that's closer. I don't know. But yeah, that's where we're at. Let's take a quick pause. Because my voice is going out, you should probably have a good rest before I try and stream again tonight. I think I probably will call it here. And but I appreciate everybody that came by today. Thank you very, very much for doing so. Let's see who we can find to raid out to. I know there's a lot of great opportunities, and let's just see which ones are alive during daytime today. But refresh. Ooh. Okay. I think we're gonna. Oh. So it looks like Halcyon Heights, or Hahi as some call them, has started up again. And so I think we're gonna head ourselves over and drop in on Mankey Hamster. Oh, actually, these have been going 3.5 hours. That might not be great, because they may not stay around very long. Ooh, even better. Even better. I know we're going to derail here, and we're actually going to go join, instead, drop in on, Poodle Pirate. I see that name. If you could DM me that one, or drop it in Discord for me, then I will check it out, and just see whether or not it seems to fit the style or the vibe that I go with. But that way I can definitely add that person to the list. So I'm thinking, actually, what we're probably going to do is I'm going to give you guys a choice of 2 in chat, and those interested can definitely let me know where we want to go. And the options are, we're looking at Gutty, who's working on a Mega Base Stuff and Things on his day 1600 in hardcore Minecraft. Or the other option I'm going to give you in this case is Slack Lizard, playing on his own Slackville server, and he says he's working on a mob farm. So would we prefer Slack, or would we prefer Gutty? No particular preference here, that's why I'm offering up the option. Oh, and thank you, Mystery Sleeper. So does anyone have any particular preference? They're pardon me, hardcore English chatty, but they do not carry the family-friendly flag, only because they want to reserve the right for themselves to be able to cuss when something happens in their world and upsets them. I did ask about that. But if you're more familiar with Slack, then we can probably head over there. Let's see. Yeah, they've been up for equal amounts of time. Okay, so we've got 1 vote for Gutty. Does anyone else have any preferences? So we're looking at Gutty versus Slack. Lizard. You're good with Gutty? Okay. So we're going to roll over there. They're a little bit of a smaller streamer normally. They're bigger than me, but they're a little bit of a smaller one. And it looks like they're standing at the moment in a mushroom biome, I think. Yeah. Okay. So that's where we're going to head over and see if I can get the easy button. So I'm going to call it. Ooh, yeah. Let's see if that works.
Mischief managed.
Woohoo! All right. So you can see on screen there the raid stuff. Happy little raid stuff. Thank you very much to Point Spenders for Chris and Fantastic Sherlock Fox for moderating, as well as Big Hairy GM for coming in and chatting with us, as well as Aiden, Chris, Poodle, and Creef for hanging out. So if you did not hear your name mentioned and were just lurking in the background, I want to say thank you to everybody that came by. It's always great to have the support, and you're welcome to come and listen anytime you like. So, yeah, I wanted to say give Gutty my best. I will be joining you shortly, and my next stream will be tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, or, as this may come up in over top of things, or it will be at 5 p.m. Mountain Time, which didn't show up, but that's okay. We'll sort that out later. So we will see you guys later on. Hopefully my voice will be a little better, and we'll probably be back at the wall. So have yourselves a great day, and I will see you. Bye-bye for now.